What's up, Explearners? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here because that means that you want to empower yourself with effective communication skills that's going to help you with your personal and professional lives. And you know what? It's going to improve your overall happiness and well-being because the better we're able to communicate, the better and stronger our relationships and the more authentic and awesome our social interactions. So you are going to be so happy you came here and subscribed because I hope you did, right? So that you can get my videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get right into it. Some people are just natural conversationalists. They're confident communicators, but most people actually need to work on their communication skills and need to hone it so that it is really effective and really powerful and really authentic. In this video, we're talking about how to get people to talk about their interests, how to find topics of interest if you're meeting somebody for the first time. So in my video about how to network, I talked about ways of doing a topic search in order to find that conversation spark or that social interaction spark. So if you haven't watched that already, I do encourage you to do that, especially if you have networking events coming up. And on a related note, today we're talking about how to get somebody to talk to you, how to get them to open up to you, and doing it in a way that's sincere and authentic, because my number one rule is being true to yourself and your authentic self and finding your authentic voice, because nobody wants to talk to phonies or real phonies. If you are familiar with that Breakfast and Tiffany's quote, where Holly Golightly is referred to as a real phony. So we want to avoid that, and instead we want to embrace our authenticity and get people to know us for the real us, and also get to know people for who they are as well, their true authentic selves. How to get people to talk. We're talking about how to pick up a conversation. For some people, this is more natural and easy than for others. And I'm going to teach you how to engage people so that they open up to you and they can find that you're easy to talk to and approachable and a good communicator and a good conversationalist. We're going to look at how to find people's interests, how to show your curiosity. How you do this will make or break the conversation. Nobody likes talking to somebody who's half engaged, half somewhere over there, looking at somebody else or thinking about something else. We want to be 100% focused on that person and on that conversation. The first thing you have to keep in mind is getting somebody to talk about their interests and about their points of curiosity and about what makes them tick, what they like, what their MO is in life. So you have to find what those interests are. But again, it's not as easy as just asking questions. Some people have a hard time asking questions, particularly when it's off the cuff and when it's completely impromptu, because you don't really know the questions ahead of time. This is not an interview that you're preparing for. This is natural, organic conversation that comes up, right? And we've all been there. You get somebody to talk about their interests. You ask them, what are your hobbies? What have you been up to recently? What has made you really passionate recently? What is something that has surprised you, right? So asking these kinds of probing questions to get somebody to talk about their interests. So you're not asking, are you interested in football? Or have you seen that new video? Have you listened to that podcast, that Tim Ferriss podcast? You can, but then you run the risk of them replying, no, I haven't, or no, I actually haven't seen that, or I'm not sure what that is. Instead, you want to ask them about what their interests are and get them to speak about what really makes them tick and what they get excited about in life. If this is somebody who's been through a lot and has a lot of adventures and stories to tell, that might be a starting point. So you might be talking to somebody who's climbed several of the most challenging mountains in the world. Get them to talk about that. Maybe you're talking to a really successful entrepreneur. Get them to talk about how they got there. How did they start? Who helped them along the way? Get them to talk about their mentors, things that interest them. And the way you'll figure out if they're interested in something is through their body language and their tone of voice and how passionate they are and how much they can say, the quantity. Is it just a few sentences here or there, or is it like full paragraphs that we're talking about? So get them to talk. And then once you've landed on a topic of interest to them and they're recounting, a great story or a wonderful travel experience or an amazing pitch that they gave years and years ago and how that transformed their lives, then you got to listen. Everyone has a story to share. Everyone. And it's up to you to listen and to really show you're listening. In my video about active listening strategies, we talk about different ways of showing that we're engaged in the conversation so that the participants and the interlocutors know that you respect them, that you're interested in what they have to say. That's positive reinforcement for them, and they're happy about that, and they want to converse with you. So same thing in this situation. Once you find what makes them tick and they're really happy to share those experiences with you because you value what they have to say, you appreciate what they've been through, you admire them for the challenges that they've overcome, then you have to show your curiosity. And you do this by asking follow-up questions. Sometimes I see people and I hear people ask follow-up questions that really just show that they're just ticking a box and knowing that they have to ask these questions to appear polite, to appear like a good conversationalist. But in fact, when you ask them later about that, or they bring it up later and you notice that there was a disconnect, that they hadn't even remembered what that person shared with them, and they ask the same follow-up question, then you have to wonder if they were actually paying attention, right? So I want you to avoid just asking questions for the sake of asking questions. If you're not listening to the person and what they have to say, then why bother ask the question? That's a complete phony move, right? And we're not into phony moves. We're into authenticity and we're into sincerity. So go with that. The next thing that I see and that I really encourage you to stay away from is appearing interested. Asking a question and appearing to show curiosity, but just to try to get information from them. Maybe you want something from them. This is not a good approach because the person who's speaking will pick up on that. And that'll make them hesitant to share. When you show your curiosity to somebody, I really encourage you to do that in a sincere way. Don't just ask follow-up questions for the sake of asking questions. Don't just try to get information for them and see how they can help you, right? So if you're talking to a successful entrepreneur and you ask questions that are just about how they can help you, that are really obvious about what you want from that person, then they're gonna pick up on that, and it's not a nice feeling when you're being asked these big demands. Let that happen organically. If the person likes you and the person finds that you are genuine and authentic, then they're gonna wanna talk to you. They're gonna wanna help you. They're gonna wanna share the insider scoop with you. When you show your interest, you're doing that in a way that lets them talk and allows them to give you the information that they select and they want to give you. Now, you're not trying to prod them for more information and to milk them for what they have. That's not a good thing to do. Of course, it goes without saying, don't interrupt, don't chime in, don't add, your own story about how you feel like you're a successful entrepreneur when really you want them to speak. Don't make it about you, make it about them. And I really encourage you to think about what you can learn from them, right? Regardless of their success or, what they can give you. It's not about that. It's about being inspired by somebody or taking into account their stories and their life experiences and skills that they have that are admirable. These are the things that you can learn from somebody, and I want you to pay attention to those things. The next time you're at a networking event or you're at a conference and you're in a place where there are a lot of people and you're meeting different people, you're engaging with them in a way that is genuine. You're engaging in a way that's gonna get them to talk and get them to open up and share their experiences and their life story and what you can learn from that. This is such a powerful way of ramping up your communication skills, increasing and building rapport with people, and making lifelong, lasting connections. All right, Explearners, that's it for this video. I hope that you liked it. If you haven't done so already, I do encourage you to subscribe. You will get my new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So what are you waiting for? And ring that bell and you'll get those notifications delivered straight to your inbox. All right, well, I will see you next time right here on Explearning. Happy Explearning!